Well, hello friends, and welcome to Ask Zach. Today we are going to show some footage of Bill Keck and I. He's a friend of mine and fellow, he's the kind of the head repair guy down at True Tone. We are going to, we filmed us taking out, exchanging neck pickups. So if you saw my episode from 2 or 3 weeks ago, it was how Tele pickups die. And the whole reason I did that video was because the neck pickup in this Esquire, which was a 54 or 55, I can't remember, but of course it was not original to the guitar, but a vintage pickup. Well, I'd had that in the guitar and it died. And so I did a whole episode on why they die. And to add kind of a whole nother level of irony, meaningfulness, I sent the pickup off to Ron Ellis to be rewound. And as this picture is going to show, it had already been rewound. And the telltale sign is the tape. So it should not, Fender would not have used Scotch tape or clear tape or whatever that is around the magnets. They would have simply lacquered the bobbin with the magnets and then wrapped the wire on it. So it was funny to find out that yes, it is incredibly common for vintage Telecaster pickups to be rewound. And in fact, my bridge pickup is on its first rewind and my neck pickup is on its second rewind. So in the video, you're going to learn some soldering tips, cleaning up solder joints. You get to see some of the under the hood shots of this guitar, do some close-ups of the neck. And also you get to see inside the control cavity, you get to see the original pots and the cap in there, and you get to see under the pick guard. And just some, also I give you my kind of setup hack on setting pickup heights on a vintage type Telecaster. So one with vintage output pickups, meaning not humbuckers or super hot output. And so get all that and a whole lot more. So I hope you enjoy. And also, of course, before we go into the footage down at True Tone, while you're thinking about it, if you've been enjoying the show, please hit subscribe. If you've already subscribed, I really appreciate you supporting the show, and the best way is Patreon, and there's a link to that down in the description. Also, there's good old tip jar information down there, or you can go to askzach.com and find out about merch and other things. So thank you so much, and enjoy. Got the old neck pickup back from Ron Ellis. Let me show you that. This is right here. So it has new leads on it, as you can see. It's been rewound and re-dipped in lacquer and such. You can see it's got a nice worn cover and the original cover, and it's got some of that brass coming through where the chrome plating has kind of been worn off. Or is that nickel plating? Not sure. But seems like I should know that. But anyway, this has been a really interesting endeavor, because I sent this pickup off. Again, it's like a 54 or 55. And when it was sold to me, I was told that it had the original winds on it. And the pickup sounded great, and I got a good deal on it. It wasn't like I paid thousands of dollars for it, but it was interesting when I sent it off to Ron. He said this is absolutely a rewind because it had Scotch tape around the magnets. So instead of lacquer dipping it, whoever rewound it, they just cleaned it up and put Scotch tape around the magnets and then put the wire on top of that. So that's to keep it from shorting out. So I just thought also we would kind of look at the guitar under the hood. You can see some of the, especially down in the control cavity, you can see some of the old red and blue paint residue. And also you can see on this guitar where the red primer that was used is coming through the finish. We tried not to over sand so that we didn't destroy the edges here. And but in doing that, we probably didn't sand enough, because as you can see, there's this stuff coming through, and you can especially see it. I'm going to try to be careful here because I've got a lot of stuff hanging out, but I'm going to delicately do this. You can see right here, you can see all that reddish pink coming through, and you can see it, you know, on the back of the body here, where red is coming through. Of course, I'm down at the True Tone offices today, and see some one spots and an old Visual Sound H2O pedal, and then an old full drive. One of the guys here is, you know, he loves the really old ones from the 90s that are like the pull comp ones on the volume control, and those are nice pedals. Let's see. You know, of course, it's just fun to see the grimy bridge. That, you know, of course, we cleaned up some, but we didn't want to like sandblast it or anything. So, of course, those are the original saddles, and that, of course, that's the original pickup that was rewound by Ron. This is the Ron Ellis tall neck that has been in the guitar since it was sent off to be. Since that pickup was sent to be rewound. So this is what you heard on when Telecaster pickups die, me playing the intro piece where I'm doing Rainy Night in Georgia. That's that pickup. And this is a great sounding pickup. It's much more in the Stratty realm than, say, this pickup. So the 55 that, again, that was on its second rewind. And that just kind of proves the point that these guys don't last forever. Let's look at the wiring here. The selector switch has been replaced, but those are the original pots, and this is an original cap. Of course, this was an Esquire, so it was wired up such with also the resistors, and it had two of these big caps. And so, of course, I only needed one to wire it like a Telecaster, and also I gave the other one to Dan String because he needed it for his 57 Tele, and it's the least I could do for all the work he did on this guitar. Let's just have a little gander at the rest. So here you can see the fingerboard up close, see the wear marks from the strings, you know, from playing it through the years. Some beautiful wear on the neck. Of course, it's been refretted by Nick over at Joe Glazer's shop. You know, there's the headstock and logo. And if we go a little further, you can see this is the clear pick guard that I got from I believe it was All Parts. Got it from All Parts. And this is the piece of paper that's underneath it that my friend Christy and Jay Smith did. So Christy did the cactus and also my name down there, and she really nice how she followed the curve of the pick guard with the Z. So, all right, so we're going to do this. We're Bill Keck, who is the head repairman here at True Tone, is going to help me with this. Even though I could of course I could do this myself, but whenever I can get someone that does something better than me, and it's an excuse to hang out for a bit, I'm gonna have him do that. So yeah, we're gonna take out the new tall, which is again a killer pickup, but we're gonna put this 55, now second time rewound, first time by me, but we're gonna put that in there, and then of course get it strung up and get the pick, my crazy pick guard put back on there, and then string it up, and it'll be good as new. This measured about 6.8. However, one thing that people don't think about is that we have the air conditioner kind of cranked in here, and if you turn the air down, if you heat up a room or heat up a pickup, it will measure much higher. Not crazy higher, but a pickup can measure like 6K in a cold environment, and then it can measure 7K. So Anyway, we're gonna get this pickup in the guitar and just have some fun. All right, friends, here we are with my friend Bill Keck, who's a lead repairman here at True Tone, and also he built Keck amplifiers and worked for Heritage Amplifiers, and he works on my amps for me, and dude, I'm spoiled rotten having this guy nearby, and he's just a good guy and always helping me out. So we're just gonna film this and have fun. He's gonna change the pickup out, so you get to see this.
Let's go ahead and take this one out.
And you can see that he's got a real soldering iron, not a soldering gun. So you can see over there the kind of unit. And it's so important to have one that gets hot enough so that you don't end up baking your components, because that's what you do when you have an iron that won't get hot enough. You end up shortening the lifespan of your pots and other parts. And see, he's already taken the Ellis new tall out, and then he's gonna put this in, and you're gonna see the always the bane of every Telecaster player when they're messing with changing out the neck pickup is you gotta get it through this little channel here. Now, of course, there are Teles that don't have the channel at all, and that's even worse. So
thread the needle here.
Yeah.
All right. Try to get it pointed in the right direction.
Sometimes Bill will get some forceps out, and he starts doing like surgery on it. Yeah, hands like a surgeon. Oh, here he goes.
And not too much coffee this morning, so that's also good.
Not too shaky. Dun, dun, dun. Shoving it through. Making sure not to drag the neck pickup along. Here we got a nice view of the neck. Now let's come back to where the action is. See, he's already pulled it through while I was doing all this other stuff. I'm not doing you guys a service. All right.
Gently lay that guy in there.
Just got that set in there, but it's not screwed down or anything yet. We're just gonna wire it up.
Push back just a little.
And that's the great thing about the old cloth wires is they call it pushback wire, for a reason, because that cloth, you literally just push it back some. And
clean up the old solder on the tab.
Yeah. This is another thing all you soldering guys need to know about is this this braid. And so what Bill's going to do is he's going to clean up this spot, with this braid. It basically
will just apply heat to the braid, and it will just suck that solder out.
Yeah. And you can see also that Bill also does dentistry in here. You can tell because he has this
toothbrush.
Well, no, the light with the magnifying glass.
Well, it's because I've got old eyes.
Oh, okay. Just like the rest of us. So there he's clean up. He's gonna have to clean it up a little more.
Well, I don't think I have to, but I will tin this so that the
it was on better.
Wires don't splay out.
He's gonna get his
a little solder too. Just turn that guy. Set. Have a nice shine to your solder, not like a gray murky thing, because that indicates a cold solder joint.
And Bill's talking from experience from building zillions of amplifiers and all sorts of repairs.
Unwound from there. Let's pull a little more back here. And
of course, he's wiring the white wire to the switch, and the black wire goes to the back of the pot to for grounding purposes.
Let's lay it in there with the other one. You don't want to apply too much heat to a pot because you can heat up too much of what's going on inside. And that looks nice.
Yeah, especially those being the original pots. You know, we try to let them live as long as they can, but if they have to be replaced, that's just the way it is. You know, it's still a functioning and playing guitar.
Let's test it before we go any further. Just give it a little. All right.
So that's a good old tap test, which, you know, of course, he made sure as he went through the 3 positions that, of course, the bridge pickup wasn't on in the first position, and of course, both were on in the middle, and then just the bridge in the back. So
We're done soldering.
there you have it. Now I just have to put it all back together. All right, now Bill is going to, of course, get the screws and such on here.
You want to be careful, you know, manhandling it, because your lead wires coming from the coil, the wrap, just like a hair, go into the tabs that connect to the wire. So, you know, you don't want to.
So this is another way in which you can kill a pickup, is by jamming a screw or something into the windings, or hurting or damaging those hair-like, actually thinner than hair-like wire that's you know,
so delicate.
you can see he's putting the screws in there, and then putting the rubber grommets grommets. What do you call it? Spacers? I don't know what the proper terminology is there, but
Just that rubber tubing.
yeah. But that's what they used on guitars, and it helps with the feedback and such. If you use metal springs, a lot of times that can be a little more problematic when it comes to things getting microphonic. So.
Also work a little side to side. You don't want to bring all of one side down and then try to catch up, because it'll be out of line, and you can flex that bottom fiber board.
Yes, because there's not that much clearance. You have to slowly put the pickup down, because the routing is not gigantic. So if you start getting it real cockeyed, you can, just like Bill said, you can damage the flat work on the pickup and ruin it.
And you don't want to have a bunch of excess wire under it, which makes it easier to maneuver the pickup, but it also will keep the pickup from sinking into the cavity correctly. So and sometimes you have to experiment with it, just how much tubing you're going to use.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta double up on that, or just use.
Or take some out. I gotta take the whole thing out. Take a little bit of tubing out.
Sometimes you have to cut some off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And this is kind of my trick for setting the neck pickup height, which, I mean, of course, we're not doing right now. But I just, get it in, and then I'll push down the string at this last fret, and and then I'll get it to where it just clears it. So basically I'm trying to get the neck pickup as high as possible. And the reason is I want to get the bridge pickup as high as possible. And I like to get as much, you know, because again, these aren't like super high output pickups. Not that they're weak, but you know, they're in the 6 to 7, you know, I think they're around upper 6s, lower 7 range, and so they're not so high output that it doesn't hurt to have them close, you know, fairly close to the strings. So that's kind of the way I do that. So and there we go. So it's back together. We still need to get the pick guard and get some strings on it.
Get string on it, set your height, and a little adjustment can make a big difference. Getting that little sweet spot.
Yep. All right, guys. So while you were gone, I changed the strings, and if you're interested, I did a whole video on the way I change strings and lock them, the unwound strings, and like how many winds I do on the G string to get enough downward pressure and all that stuff. There's a whole video about that if you're interested in that. So I've strung it up, and also I set the neck pickup height. And so this is my trick for neck pickup height. What I do is, and this is the key to setting up the pickup heights on both pickups, what I do is I press down the string on the last fret on the high E string, and then I set it to where it just clears it. And that's basically as high as you can get it. Now these pickups are in the upper 6K, you know, lower 7K range, and so that's okay. Now if you had some really high output pickup that might produce enough pull that it would actually, you know, it could hurt the tone and the tuning of the instrument. But on this one, it's not going to do that. So, and I like my pickups as close to the string as possible with vintage type pickups. So what I do is I get that physically set, and then I go by output. And so what I'll do is I'll hit this string as I go back and forth, and I'll set this height to where it matches the output, or maybe this one is just a touch louder. But I don't want the neck pickup to be louder, because that's the sound I want. And then I'll go to the bass end and I'll do the same thing. I'll hit it, and then I'll switch back and forth, and well, first off, I need to back up. It's like after I get this set, then I have to set this height. So then you want the outputs to be similar. So you don't want it to be out for itself. And then you set it also to this one. All right, so now we're gonna put the fancy pick guard that I have back on. So I need to say again that this was done by my friends Jay and Christy Smith. And Jay, of course, is the gentleman that did the Ask Zach logo, and has done a lot of work for me. And so he and his wife Christy, and Christy is very dear to me because she's a good friend, and also it's because of her that I met my wife. So it's very dear to me to have her work on my guitar, you know, Jay and Christy. So they did this. You can see this is kind of heavy cardstock, and it has a bit of it has some little flex in here and such. And what we're going to do to make it sit here properly is I'm going to loosen this a little bit, because I found that I kind of have to put this under the control plate a little bit. So carefully, I'm going to get this under here, under the strings. Here we go. We're going to go down and get underneath the plate a little bit. And we're going to carefully go down around the pickup and, of course, the neck itself. We're going to make sure that it's flat and in position, lining up with the holes. And then we're going to get this clear guard that came from All Parts, and we're going to slap it on there. Again, we're going to carefully go underneath here. And we're going to go down, and yeah, everything feels really good. Feels good and flat. I am very careful to put the screws down to where I can remember where they went. So this is the way I do it. I get a piece of tape and I put down the 2 that go here and then the 3 that go here, and in the right order, so that I can, you know, get it off. Of course, got sticky tape. So I'm just going to put that in just a little bit, not too far. I'm going to take the next one. This is the bad part again of using tape. And these screws are even like, they're different sizes, and that's just what was on the guitar. So I've just kind of continued to do that because I don't want to enlarge holes that don't need to be enlarged or put in too small of a screw in another spot. So it's just a good idea. And also, you know, sometimes these screws have a different amount of wear and such on them. So I'm gonna straighten this one out some because it was going in a little funny. I'm gonna start taking it down. Take this one down. I'm going to double check to make sure we're lining up here. We don't have a problem here. And no, we're good. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and kind of push this down and also get the control plate back into position, which it is now. Oh, that's just turning and turning. I might need to address that. Tighten these. We're going to look again. We're going to make sure all the screws are flush. We're going to make sure the pick guard is sitting correctly, make sure everything's right, and it is. So, and again, as I was showing y'all earlier, this guitar has a bunch of kind of orangey, pinkish red undercoat, kind of sealer coat that was from when the guy painted it blue with a blue spray paint. And so it's been coming through. You can see there, especially on the sides. But yeah, so it is all together. But I might need to. In fact, I will need to address this one screw that just kept on turning here. I'll probably get, you know, I might do just the old matchstick and some super wood glue in there. But we'll get that addressed. But there you have it. It's all back together, and got the neck pickup and. There we are.